Hello and welcome, dear listeners and viewers. Welcome to the second International Forum of Psychologists. And today on our podcast, we are joined by Professor Mojca Jurishević from the University of Slovenia, from Ljubljana. And she is one of the Europe's leading experts in educational psychology, learning motivation, and support for gifted students. And Mojca Jurishević, it's a pleasure to see you in Kazakhstan for the second time. And my first question is, what is giftedness from the scientific point of view?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation. I am here for the second time. And this is really the key question when we are talking about gifted education. So we have to define, to conceptualize the key term, to identify gifted students and to work with them. So in general, we do not have just one or unique definition of what giftedness is, but more or less professionals and researchers and experts, so scholars, we agree that giftedness is kind of potential or ability, intellectual ability to perform. But this is just a predisposition, okay? So we are all born with a potential, and some people are born with very high potential, outstanding potential, and this is called giftedness. And why I said that this is just a precondition, because when we are born, then life happens, right? And if we are born with high potential, this doesn't mean that we will be successful in life. So we have to work to realize our potentials through the life. So on one part we have this giftedness as ability, potential, and then realized giftedness, which we call talent.
Yes, very deep answer. Thank you. And the second question is, you represent Slovenia in the AFPA Standing Committee on Educational Psychology. And what important changes are currently taking place in approaches to student motivation and engagement in schools across Europe? And which of these practices could be useful for our country, Kazakhstan?
This is a huge question, very complex answer. So I will try to put it simple. So, we are a group at European Federation of Psychological Association. There are many working groups, and one of these we are called Standing Committee, Psychology and Education. So there we discuss about different problems from different countries, and we don't actually discuss about the motivation specifically, but on general changes and challenges in education as psychologists, So when we are talking about motivation, we are talking about motivation in schools, in educational system, right? Mm-hmm. Not in general, because when, many times we hear that students or children are not motivated and so forth. But this is not true actually, because they are motivated, but they are motivated for a variety of different things, right? Not just for school. This is a problem. And so it could be a problem, right? So we have the message from psychology is to work with teachers to explain them what the motivation is, because they cannot fight with contemporary life, and teach like 100 or even more years ago. So children today, they are informed well and they are motivated when something attracts their attention, right? So we have to change also school. And for changing school, we need to have teachers who are competent to do that, who understand what motivation for learning in school is. And this for sure is not just studying for achieving very high grades, Okay? But still, we have to return to psychological science and to understand that motivation needs time. And when we develop motivation, which is intrinsic, so to do something or to study something, to get involved with something, which it's interesting for us or in which we enjoy, like children play, you see, then we need time to develop this motivation. But today's world is really very fast. So on one point we are saying, kids are not motivated, but on other point of view, we don't give them enough opportunities to develop interests, to challenge themselves, to experience different topics, and to understand what is their motivation. So this is, it's not just one simple answer, but is the whole context which has to be motivating for children. And if you are talking about Europe, I don't know if you are familiar with the last PISA results. PISA is an international study on knowledge of 15 years old students all around the world. And in 2022, this research showed that children around the world are differently creative, okay? And in some countries, also in Slovenia, these students didn't show a high level of or an average level of creativity. So this means that in schools, they have to be, they are passive. They are not active enough. And when you are not active, so you cannot explore or experience something, so then you lose motivation, okay? So to be creative means to act at the highest level of human potential. And when you can be creative, you are also motivated, okay? And a very known psychologist already passed away, Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, was really studying the motivation of students, also of gifted students, and he found out the term or the concept flow, meaning that you are optimally motivated for doing something, okay? But for developing this, you need time. And when we are in schools and everybody is, hurry up, do that and that, so this is counterproductive for motivation, for developing a motivation of mastery, okay? We need time. So this is one of the guidelines for developing or supporting quality motivation in students all around the world, not just in Kazakhstan. And the whole context, so as I said, a higher level of thinking, activity, different methods, and so forth. So this is then motivating, and also paying attention to the whole personality of children, not just academic domain, but also the psychosocial part, and also the respecting diversity of different students in classrooms.
Thank you for your answer. And my final question is, as a professor of educational psychology with extensive experience, you have likely encountered the issue of teacher burnout. And in your opinion, what strategies are most effective for preventing it, and what measures can be taken at the level of the educational system?
Okay, thank you very much. Also, this question is really very complex. But it's a challenge. I think that we have more questions than answers yet. But we see that some strategies or interventions are beneficial for teachers. So firstly, I think, and I work in teacher education already for 30 years, so it's really important that we talk with student teachers about possible burnout, but more or less, most of all, about taking care of themselves, right? Competencies, and how to say no, because teachers are really very motivated and very dedicated people. So many times they take a lot of tasks, right? And then slowly they become tired of that, right? So this is one approach which is positive to educate them to take care about themselves, and then also when entering in the system to talk about the school problems, the challenges, to talk about relations they have with parents, with colleagues, with head teachers, and so forth. So here is partly the answer. Also on intervision, and we see also the supervision of teachers, but not clinical one. Educational supervision is really very, very successful technique to fight or to cope with the burnout. So teachers need to have the rest. Teachers need to be competent to do what they're supposed to do, because if they are not competent, then they can also put a lot of efforts for nothing, So also competency is one strategy to fight against burnout, and taking rest. And also, so this is from the teacher's point of view, but from the system is to support the rules and to support the also other parts of systems, because if the teacher takes the roles of social worker, psychologist, 3 other teachers, and so forth, then it will become tired, and sooner or later he or she will feel burnout. So there are many answers, but I deeply believe, on the basis of my experiences and psychological findings, that we have started to learn professionally about burnout and about how to live in a positive way already when we are starting to become teachers. So in initial teacher education, and later on also through continuous professional development, but also, or more important, every day in schools. Thank you.
Thank you for our deep and interesting answers, Professor. And в принципе, все по идее. Yes.
It's okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, are you okay with my answers?
Yes. All is good. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it will serve well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.